Hi all, good morning. Today we will understand how to apply KVL to the circuit given. Okay, here we have used 10 volts DC supply and all the resistors is of 1 ohm, and I have assumed that the current in loop 1 is I1 and the current in loop 2 is I2. Okay, so when we are applying KVL to this loop, the current entering terminal is positive and current leaving terminal is negative. Okay, so applying KVL to loop 1, the current leaving terminal is plus, right? So plus 10 volts, and current leaving here is that means to say the voltage drop across this resistor is, we know that V is equals to IR, right? So voltage drop across this resistor is I1 multiplied by 1 ohm. So minus 1 multiplied by I1. Same way, when we are applying the voltage drop across this resistor is resistance multiplied by current. The current here, the current flowing through this resistance is I1 minus I2, right? Because I1 is flowing in this direction and I2 is flowing in this direction. So I1 minus I2 is the current flowing in this resistance. So the voltage drop is minus of value of R is 1 and the current flowing through that resistor is I1 minus I2 is equals to 0. So on simplification, 10 minus I1 plus I2 is 0, minus 2 I1 plus I2 is minus 10. Let us call this equation 1. Okay, next is applying KVL to loop 2. So in this loop I am taking IT as the current flowing and I am applying by considering current leaving terminal. So minus 1 times I2 minus 1 times I2 minus 1 times, what is the current flowing through this resistor now? This is I2 and this is I1, right? So they are in opposite direction. So I2 minus I1 is current flowing through this resistance. So minus I2 minus I2 minus 1 times I2 minus I1 is equals to 0. This is the KVL after applying KVL to loop 2. So on simplification, I1 minus 3I2 is equals to 0. Okay, now we have to solve these two equations. That is, equation 1 is minus 2I1 plus I2 is minus 10, I1 minus 3I2 is 0. Okay, so how to solve this? You can use matrix method to solve this, or since it is a easy equations, we can make these coefficients of I1 to equal, so that you will get, so multiply coefficient of this I1 to this equation and coefficient of this I1 to this equation. So you will get these two equations. Now what I will do, I will add these two equations. So minus 2I1 plus 2I1 is 0, plus I2 minus 6I2 is minus 5I2, which is equals to minus 10 plus 0, which is minus 10. So value of I2 is 2 amperes. So now I will apply this value of I2 to this equation. So I am getting minus 2I1 plus 2 is the value of I2, which is equals to minus 10. So minus 2I1 is equals to minus 12, which implies I1 is equals to 6 amperes. Thank you.